The IRS is fast to take your money but slow to give it back, and that is especially true for PATH Act refund holders. Essentially, those of you that are still waiting on your refund because of the refund delay created by the PATH Act tax law. And that is because you claimed the additional child tax credit or the earned income tax credit. So this is just a painfully slow process. But let me tell you something else about tax refunds. IRS only has 3 years to give you a tax refund, which means you have 3 years to claim the refund from them. After 3 years, they do not have to give you a refund. In fact, they don't. That is the statute of limitations. Essentially, 3 years to claim your refund. But the IRS has 10 years to come after you for your tax return. So basically, if you haven't filed your taxes or even haven't paid your taxes, the IRS has 10 years in their hand to come after you to get those taxes. But they only are giving you 3 years to claim what you're supposed to get from them as a refund. So you can see, obviously, it's unfair, but that is the tax law, and that is what you need to know about, because millions of people actually forfeit their tax refund because they don't claim it within the 3-year limitation. So it just all goes in and ties into that. They are definitely going to take their time when they're giving you the refund, and they are going to give themselves more time to collect what they have to collect from you.
3 years to claim your refund, but 10 years for the IRS to come after you. That tells you everything you need to know about how the system works. They built the rules, so they always win, and you always run out of time. And millions of people are losing refunds they earned because nobody told them about a deadline that the IRS is perfectly happy to let you miss.
Debt offset. So y'all see that this week is the first big drop of the tax season. A lot of people getting their refunds Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. A lot of people already got their money over the weekend or last week due to early deposits. Most people are getting their refunds this week. This is the first big drop. The next big drop going to be the following week, which is March the 2nd. March the 1st through March the 2nd. So what's the debt offset? What I'm saying is that a lot of people had expecting one amount, but really what got deposited was this amount. So of course you already know the amount you're going to see is going to be after your refund, after your tax preparation fees and all bank fees are subtracted. Also, you have to remind yourself that if you got a refund advance loan, that is also subtracted. So for example, if you got $1,000 advance loan, your fees were about $1,000. Let's say your refund was $9,000. After you subtract that $2,000, you're left with $7,000. So that's what should have been deposited to your account. But let's say that you only get $5,500, right? Reach out to your tax professional. Your tax professional lets you know that, hey, nothing changed on my end. You were supposed to get $7,000, but it looks like you had a debt offset. So please call this number and check out why the IRS withheld funds from you. Now you understand that if you owe state or federal agencies, they will go in and swipe that refund. State, federal agencies, they will swipe that refund. So, your student loans, unemployment, food stamp, Medicaid, any type of Social Security fraud, anything going on with federal or state, they will come in and swipe that refund and give you what's left. So listen, people, don't go in on your tax professional. First, let's call the debt offset line to see what's going on, because there's a possibility that you owe somebody and they swiped you.
You have code 826 and you're wondering what it means, I'm going to break it down to you. So code 826 basically means that your refund was applied to a balance or a debt from the previous tax year. You owe the previous year, they used that money that you were supposed to be getting in this year to offset the balance from the previous year. So 826 just means that the debt was paid, and the amount beside the code is how much was paid on the debt that you previously owed. And you probably will be getting a letter in the mail, so there will be other codes listed as well. And also, if you have the irs.gov website, you can go log in. You can go into the main menu and see what codes and what letters will be sent to you. That way you can be on the lookout for the letter, or you can read the letter already in your inbox.
So, let me get this straight. The IRS can't process returns on time, can't answer phone calls, and can't update their website. But they can intercept your refund and redirect it to 5 different agencies before you even wake up Monday morning. Nice to know the system works perfectly when it's taking money from you.
Oh, honey, no. When you married him, you also married his child support debt. Okay, your husband owes back child support. So that right. So the state can't take your money, no. But the state can take any joint asset. So when you filed together, IRS was able to, or the state was able to intercept the IRS money because it was a joint asset. Okay, so it's not handled, first thing. This is really a conversation you guys should have had prior to getting married, and you should have looked for yourself what's there. The court sets a payment plan. So if he set up an additional payment plan, that is to pay what he owes in back support. So the court sets... Okay, so it's been intercepted. Just go with that. Call the caseworker and ask how much was taken, how much will be applied to the case, and what... Okay, I hear you. You want your money. Please allow me to speak so I can give you some options. You can file what's called an injured spouse claim, where you can get your portion of the taxes back. So that has to be done through your caseworker. I am not your caseworker. I'm just part of the legal team, okay? So totally different. Yeah, the state handles his child support, and you need to call the caseworker in order to figure this out. Going further, if you're telling me that you want to buy a house with him, you really need to consider letting the state keep that money, because you're going to have issues when you try to buy a house.
I actually feel for her, because a lot of people don't know how child support debt works when you get married. Nobody teaches you that filing jointly means the government can take your portion too. And yeah, she should have looked into it before they got married. But hindsight is easy. At least now she knows about the injured spouse claim and can protect herself next year. Expensive lesson, but an important one.
We got breaking news. The IRS's early data is showing that Americans are receiving about 11% more back with their tax refund than last year, but they're running into massive issues. Now, going into tax season, we knew that on average, people were going to get about $1,000 more back from their tax refund because of changes, but what we didn't know is that the IRS was going to be slower with processing their returns. If you want to get your refund as quick as possible, you need to understand why people are getting these delays, and it's mainly due to three things. The first thing is out of their control. It's the fact that the IRS has had massive cuts to not only their workforce, but to their third-party technology partners. You probably remember last year, DOGE cut a large portion of the IRS workforce, which shrunk the amount of people working for the IRS, but I bet you didn't know that this past January, less than a month ago, the IRS also fired their largest technology partner over privacy concerns. This means those professionals that help the IRS use their technology aren't there anymore, which causes massive delays. The second issue people are running into is not having the correct IRS information on file. If you go to the irs.gov website, you can navigate and see their profile on you. And on this profile, it will show your address, your bank account, and other necessary information that makes you you. The thing is, if there's any discrepancy from this information and the information on your tax return, you are going to receive delays, and you might not even get paid your tax refund. So make sure this info is correct. The final issue people are running into is they're going through tax season lackadaisically. They don't follow people who know what they're talking about. And because of that, they're not updated with IRS changes.
So they cut the IRS workforce, fired their tech partner, and now wonder why refunds are delayed. They literally removed the people and the technology responsible for processing returns and somehow expected it to work the same. It's like firing all the cooks at a restaurant and being confused why the food is taking longer. This wasn't an accident. This was a choice.